Maggie loves matchmaking while working in a publishing house. Things get complicated when the new author she is assigned turns out to be Jackson, the man she almost married many years ago. Paul discusses how awkward he has been with himself since the beginning. His life was incomplete till he met his fiancée, Linda. He never wants to let her go. Linda thanks everyone at the engagement party. She especially mentions their friend Maggie for bringing them together. Linda insists that Maggie should come to their wedding. Maggie gets yet another photo to put up on her wall of success in the office. Dean teases her about being a successful matchmaker, but not having anyone herself. That must hurt. Maggie insists it's because she's too busy helping people find love. Maggie updates her boss, Amanda, about a book she's editing. Amanda has signed a new author and wants Maggie to be his editor. Maggie agrees to take on more work whenever something is fixed. Amanda is dreading their office Christmas party on the 20th. Everyone keeps introducing her to their dates and expects her to have one. She went with her brother to the last party, which was even worse. I can imagine. Maggie offers to use her matchmaking skills to find someone for Amanda. She explains it's a hobby, and that she has just paired up two friends who are getting married. She even brags about some other people she successfully set up. Chester from accounting comes to discuss details with Amanda. She asks Maggie to find her someone for the Christmas party. She insists it should be as painless as possible. Dean is sure Maggie has met her matchmaking quota for the year. She still wants to spread more joy. She truly believes she can find Amanda a soulmate by Christmas. Maggie is out shopping with her sister Nicole, and they discuss what gifts to get their parents. Their dad wants slippers and good children, so they feel he doesn't realize they're adults. Nicole's husband, Andrew, and she are trying to get their kids what they want. Her son Sawyer wants board games, while Tammy wants superhero action figures. Their mom wants a massage table they know she will never use. Nicole asks Maggie to get creative with the gifts from their mom's list. Maggie wonders if Nicole knows some guys she can set up Amanda with. Nicole suggests Toby, the dental hygienist from Andrew's office. Maggie wants someone more settled because Amanda is a great person. Maggie remembers Marvin, who owns a cafe nearby. He's divorced, but Maggie thinks he's very sweet and hardworking. Nicole reminds Maggie that she has always been focusing on other people since Jackson. Maggie asks her not to mention his name. Dean loves that the Christmas book he designed is getting very popular. Maggie suggests it might be because of the author too, but Dean is too proud. He reminds her that Amanda is looking for her. Amanda introduces Maggie to Jackson Jones, an author she wants her to work with. Jackson has switched publishers and she's excited about Maggie being his editor. Maggie pretends not to know him, but Jackson wants to discuss his book immediately. Dean is excited about Maggie working with a famous author like Jackson. Maggie is not at all pleased since she almost married him. That has to hurt. Maggie professionally invites Jackson to the room and ignores him when he asks about her. She wants to stick to work and asks for his plan. Jackson is tired of writing mysteries and thrillers and wants to try other genres. He knows it's risky, but feels like he has earned the right to do what he wants. Maggie insists she needs to run that by Amanda. She wants to make sure Red Lake Publishing pays him appropriately. Jackson doesn't think choosing another genre should jeopardize anything. She claims she is just taking precautions. She also assumes the other publishers disapproved of him changing genres. Jackson feels attacked and asks for more time to think about this. When they exchange cards, Jackson admits running into each other is still very awkward. Maggie insists they should stick to work now that the pleasantries are over. Maggie explains to Dean that she was engaged to Jackson in her second year of college. She didn't marry him because there were a lot of obstacles. She got a scholarship to Oxford, because of which they broke up. She really wanted to take it, and her whole family disapproved of him too. She remembers they judged him for wanting to be an author. She thinks that's funny because of how successful he is. Dean admits they were probably too young to be in love. Jackson wants to discuss working together because he doesn't feel that Maggie is handling it well. Maggie also doesn't want to pretend it's not weird with him. They still decide to be mature about this and leave their past behind. Maggie agrees to start over and properly review his story notes. She starts looking for date options for Amanda, but drops food on Jackson's card. She takes out a box from her closet with an engagement ring. Maggie gives Amanda a list of 11 guys she chose for her. Maggie assures her she knows all these men and has pictures. Maggie offers to tell her more about the men in case of doubts. Amanda rejects most of them on their looks. They're left with 3 people with whom Amanda agrees to have a quick coffee date. Maggie suggests doing something more romantic, but Amanda insists she doesn't have time. Amanda also wants all the dates on the same day. Maggie thinks Amanda hasn't found anyone yet because she needs to meet the right guy. Before Maggie meets Jackson at the cafe, she informs Marvin that she wants to set him up with someone. Jackson remembers her being this social and friendly the last time too. He admits he is serious about exploring other genres and wants to do a Christmas book. He's aiming to release it by next year. Maggie agrees that can work out. Jackson suggests a period piece about the Civil War. He also wants a mystery woven into it with a scientific background. Maggie gets distracted by Nicole, who doesn't seem to recognize Jackson. Maggie explains that they're working together. Nicole taunts him for finally being an author, so Maggie explains that he's very successful. Jackson is polite to her, but Nicole feels he is very smug. Nicole is glad Maggie listened to their parents and didn't marry him. Maggie points out that Jackson always did the right thing. Nicole is sure he was trying to hold her back, but Maggie thinks there's nothing wrong with him wanting to marry her. Nicole wants her to be careful, but Maggie knows there are no problems or bad memories with Jackson. Maggie still wants to keep this professional. Amanda admits that her first date, Alan, looks much better than his pictures. Maggie refuses to tag along because she knows Amanda will make her stay. As Maggie watches from a distance, she realizes she forgot to mention the height difference. What a rookie mistake. She already knows from Amanda's expressions that it won't work out. Maggie assures her that Steven, the next date, will be much better. He loves books like Amanda does and thinks they'll have much to discuss. Steven brags about being an avid reader. He admits his favorite books are from another publisher. He lists many science fiction and fantasy books, making Amanda uncomfortable. Jackson finds Maggie spying on them and teases her. Maggie explains that she's setting Amanda and Steven up. Jackson thinks a lot has changed in the last 15 years. Maggie explains that she likes pairing up friends she thinks will get along. She brags about her success stories. Steven suggests that Amanda add science fiction and fantasy titles to her publishing house. He even shows her some figures from the genre readership. Just when Maggie thinks they're doing well, she notices a terrible look from Amanda. Maggie assures her it's a learning curve. She is sure Marvin is promising. She explains that Marvin owns his cafe and is very nice. Amanda wonders how Marvin knows Maggie. Marvin admits Maggie is a great soul, and they started talking when she kept coming to the cafe. Amanda thinks Maggie is bolder than her since she can never talk to strangers. Marvin makes her feel at ease with a joke about mother's warnings about strangers. Maggie watches them exchanging numbers and knows it finally worked out. Amanda has set up a second date with Marvin on Thursday. She knows she can respect him, and he's handsome and nice. Marvin has suggested making dinner for Amanda at his cafe for their next date. Maggie believes that is very romantic because they'll meet when the cafe is closed. She assures Amanda it won't get awkward because Marvin can easily make people comfortable. Dean is about to leave for lunch but offers to stick around when Jackson drops by. Jackson finishes his outline for the book and needs Maggie's feedback. He asks her to take a break to check out something for his book. Maggie insists she's busy, but he knows even she wants the book to be great. He takes her for a sleigh ride and claims it's for research. Jackson admits he never needed a sleigh ride in any of his action novels in New York. He left Big Apple Publishing when he got tired of it 2 months ago. She's surprised he decided to move back home after that. He's surprised to see her there, but Maggie assures him she changes jobs a lot. She explains that she was the junior copy editor at the Herald, then became the writer and editor for a lifestyle magazine. She also was the technical editor somewhere, and she changed a few more jobs in between. She was jumping around to build her resume. He doesn't believe that, so she teases him about his bestseller being a tiger's burden. Jackson admits he's proud of it and likes that she read it. He hopes she has read his better work too, but she teases him about not knowing if he has any. That must burn. When Jackson asks about Nicole, Maggie apologizes for the other day. Jackson already understands that she still hates him. He admits he had a few relationships, but nothing special came up. Maggie claims she has been too busy with work. Jackson also jokes about not finding anyone genuine since he's a hotshot author. She teases him about feeling sorry for him. He admits it's nice to talk to someone like her who knew him from before that life. During a book signing, Amanda informs Maggie that Marvin is making a raspberry bread pudding for her. Maggie knows that's not available at his cafe. Amanda understands that he's doing a lot to impress her. She's worried about wasting his time if it doesn't work out. Maggie asks her to enjoy the process of dating. Amanda finds an elaborate meal ready for her when she turns up at Maven's cafe. He makes her a sandwich with her favorite bread and cheese, and some items that are part of his special recipe. He has owned the cafe for 7 years. She wonders if he ever gets tired of cooking. Marvin compares it to Amanda's love for reading, and knows she still does it after work. Marvin remembers how stressful the place was when he first opened it. It took over everything in his life. His first marriage also failed because he was too caught up in work. Now, he knows that he can enjoy the cafe and doesn't have to be stressed about it. He has found a lot of balance and has learned from his regrets. Maggie asks Amanda about her date. Amanda admits Marvin is a great cook and someone she can easily trust. She still only sees Marvin as a friend. Maggie opines that most relationships are built on friendships. Amanda shares that she was honest about her feelings with Marvin. She loves how understanding he is and is flattered that Maggie thinks she could match with someone like him. Maggie feels like Amanda doesn't want to try dating anymore. She also doubts if the matches she gave her are any good. Nicole thinks Amanda might want a simple date without all the pressure. Maggie is sure Marvin is perfect for her and wonders if she should keep looking for more guys. Nicole suggests Maggie should ask her. She's more interested in Maggie bringing a date to the party. Amanda shows Maggie the venue of the office Christmas party. She has nominated Maggie for the party committee since she's so reliable. Rachel informs them that the party committee needs to handle other things. The catering is arranged, but they need to decorate and handle the coat check by the entrance and the toy drive donations. She asks Tori to handle the decorations with her and some other people volunteer. Maggie agrees to oversee the toy drive while Jim gets put in charge of the coat check. She informs them that some additional decorations must be made before the party. Amanda is glad she doesn't have to be on the party committee, since she'll be entertaining authors. Maggie thinks having a purpose at the party is better than standing idly. She suggests some other guys for Amanda's date, who asks for more time to go over the list again. Dean is glad he acted busy and stressed enough to avoid getting picked for the committee. Now that's strategy. Dean suggests pairing up Amanda with Chester from accounting. Maggie refuses to believe they're a good match. Jackson knows Maggie needs a break and takes her ice skating. Maggie remembers gashing her knee there and blames Jackson for the fall. It has been at least 10 years since Maggie skated, but Jackson is sure she'll pick up. He asks her to trust herself and assures her that he won't let her fall again. He wonders if Maggie ever thought they would end up here. She reminds him they're leaving the past behind, but he asks her to humor him. Maggie admits she always knew Jackson would make it as an author. She always admired that he knew what he wanted to do. On the other hand, she knew the things she was good at and tried to make a career out of it. She is mostly happy with work, but it's getting too much these days. He realizes that is why she keeps changing jobs. Jackson admits he loves his job in writing. He doesn't mind earning a lot too. She wonders why he chose their publishing house since he might not get paid enough. Jackson points out that money is not everything. His previous job soon stopped being fun. He was working like a machine and had too many due dates. He realized he didn't want to be there anymore. He admits he met other publishers before going with Red Lake. It felt like a good pick, but he knows Maggie is wondering if he came back for her. He suggests he might have and tries to kiss her. Maggie makes an excuse about her feet hurting to push him away. So Jackson acts normal and helps her get off the ice. Dean feels like they're rekindling things, but Maggie is afraid of hurting Jackson again. She wishes their timing was different and that she met him at Oxford or when she was older. She still doesn't admit that she doesn't love him. She thinks getting into a relationship with him will be a mistake. When she admits nothing has changed between them, Dean assumes she still cares for him. Jackson takes out an untitled manuscript and starts working on it. He arrives at Maggie's place when she's working on gingerbread houses. She agrees to take his help and hates that he's so much better. Jackson admits he made a lot of them while growing up. He decides to teach her some tricks and holds her hands to show how long she needs to hold on to the roof to fix it. He admits he always wanted to live in a gingerbread house growing up. He likes that it represents warmth and comfort. He feels like everything you care about is inside it. When Maggie points out how tiny it is, Jackson admits he needs something bigger for his books. When they're done, Maggie can easily tell the ones he made are better. He shows her the manuscript he just finished and asks for her opinion. He admits it's an older one that has not gone to any other publisher. Maggie assures him she'll make time for it. Amanda thinks having Jackson as an author is good for marketing. Maggie also feels like they should capitalize on his name. Chester hands over some departmental budgets and asks them to review them. Amanda wonders how things are with Jackson and if he has a lot of ego. When Maggie mentions that he's nice, Amanda asks if he'll be good as a date for her. Now that's a twist. Amanda wants to ask Jackson to the Christmas party as her date. Chester overhears this and walks away. Amanda asks Maggie to think of some excuse, so he drops by the office. Chester hands over Maggie's sales reports, so she wonders if he has anything for Jackson to sign. Chester remembers they have a signing bonus he can collect from the office that hasn't been mailed yet. Maggie calls Jackson and asks him to swing by for the check. She instantly knew that sounded stupid. Jackson arrives at the office late when Maggie has already left. Amanda hands over the check to him and asks if she can discuss his work over dinner. Nicole doesn't understand why Maggie cares if Amanda dates Jackson. Maggie thinks it's weird if they were an item since Amanda is her friend. Nicole knows it will only be weird if Maggie still cares about him. Amanda doesn't know about her history with him, but Nicole thinks Maggie should warn her. Maggie knows Jackson might be great for Amanda. Rachel wonders if Maggie is bringing a date to the Christmas party. Maggie looks at Jackson's script and claims she's not. Maggie asks Amanda about her date with Jackson. Amanda is surprised he's not married despite being a great catch. They just had dinner, and Amanda feels grateful she had a work connection to talk to him about. Maggie suggests a list of more guys, but Amanda wants to see if things work out with Jackson. Amanda is determined to take him with her to the Christmas party. Maggie finally decides to read Jackson's manuscript in Marvin's cafe. She apologizes to Marvin about Amanda, but he knows Amanda isn't sure about what she wants. Maggie doesn't understand what she feels about the manuscript. The couple in this romance has already broken up on page 30. Something about it seems familiar, so she turns up at Jackson's door. She asks if his book is a joke since it's about their relationship. She refuses to be a subject of his book even if he changes names. She thinks he has made Nicole sound like a villain. Jackson reminds her the first rule of writing is to write about what you know. She hands it back to him and assures him she won't publish it. Maggie shows Nicole another copy of the manuscript. She rants about how mean he has made the characters. All of Nicole's doubts about him are clear. She's glad she warned her parents about Jackson all those years ago. Maggie is surprised Nicole had a role in it, but she insists their parents didn't like Jackson anyway. She always felt they were too young, and Nicole knew marriage wasn't right for her. Nicole is also glad Maggie didn't marry him since his only real plan was writing. Maggie is offended at the assumption that she can't fend for herself. Nicole assures her that it doesn't matter now. Dean asks Maggie to notice how often Chester comes to talk to Amanda. He points out that as the head of accounting, Chester has a whole team to do this for him. Maggie finally realizes that Chester is looking for reasons to see her. Maggie resigns from her job and assures Amanda it's not about the workload. She assures Amanda that the Wilmington Heights manuscript is finished and that she'll take care of it before she goes. She thinks the other manuscripts won't suffer without any other editor. Amanda gets a text from Jackson offering to pick her up for the Christmas party. Amanda wonders if she can do anything to make Maggie stay, but she assures her that she'll take care of things in her notice period. Jackson finds Maggie at Baker's book reading and asks if she has finished his manuscript. She admits she's leaving the publishing house. Jackson also admits he switched publishers when he found that Maggie was at Red Lake. He wanted to be near her and never stopped thinking about her. Maggie feels like he is there to rub the past in her face. He's also apparently trying to make her jealous of Amanda. Jackson doesn't believe that she thinks that way about him. He knows she is always quick to judge him because it's easier for her. He thinks it's clear it's her choice now instead of her family's. Maggie sits with Chester at Marvin's cafe and wonders why he looks so upset. Chester admits that Christmas is a tough time for him. He tells her a story about Christmas time 6 years ago, when a man named Lester was dating the love of his life. He is expecting a promotion when the woman he loves, Miranda, gets a huge promotion. Lester blames her for it and breaks up with her. Since then, Lester has kept feeling bad about what happened between them. Maggie asks Amanda about the progress with the editor shuffle. Amanda is wondering if she should assign Brooks or David for Jackson. Maggie suggests David is a better fit. She also claims she's happy Amanda found a date for the party. Amanda feels bad that none of Maggie's guys worked out, but she thanks Maggie for trying. Chester comes to Amanda for some work and leaves. Maggie informs Amanda that she knows about her and Chester. Amanda insists she doesn't care if Chester regrets what happened between them. When she gets home, Maggie decides to read the rest of Jackson's manuscript. She gets to the part about the lead character being afraid of losing a second chance with the girl he loves. She skips to the last page, which mentions the man's feelings for her. He admits he needs to ask her if she can love him again. In the end, they kiss and get back together. Nicole buys a hammock stand for their dad since they are out of options. She asks if Maggie wants to join her family for a Christmas train ride. Maggie reminds Nicole about the Christmas party, where she's not going with Jackson. She explains that Amanda is going with him. Nicole wonders if Maggie wants to go with him. Maggie knows she can't have another conversation about how horrible he is. She still can't remember what was so wrong with Jackson that her family didn't approve of him. She insists that she needs closure and asks Nicole to explain what happened. Nicole admits she was using Jackson's career as an excuse. Nicole was jealous as the big sister that Maggie was ready to settle down before her. She feels like her insecurities push her to convince their parents that Jackson isn't good for her. Nicole also admits she might have been wrong about Jackson all along. Nicole is worried about what Jackson thinks of her now. Maggie reminds her of the story Jackson wrote and insists that the ending gives clarity about how he feels. Nicole thinks Maggie should confess her feelings for him. Maggie doesn't want to ruin his relationship with Amanda since she deserves a nice guy. Nicole thinks Jackson should still know how Maggie feels if he has loved her for all these years. Maggie gets ready for the party and wears the engagement ring Jackson gave her as a necklace. Amanda and Jackson meet guests at the party while Maggie handles the toy drive. Dean suggests that Maggie should set Chester up after her attempt with Amanda fails. He can tell Maggie is distracted with Jackson and Amanda, so he insists she should mingle while he takes care of the gifts. Amanda asks Maggie about the toy drive and feels she should enjoy it too. Amanda admits there's no chemistry between her and Jackson, and that it's mostly business. Maggie feels bad that she failed to see the chemistry between Amanda and Chester. She asks Amanda not to let Chester suffer when she has feelings for him too. Maggie also knows Amanda thinks love doesn't happen twice and feels she shouldn't turn her back on it. Amanda approaches Chester and admits she only feels comfortable dancing with him. He's excited to dance with her and takes her to the stage. Dean takes credit for setting them up. He also asks Maggie to feel free to chase Jackson when he's leaving. Maggie runs after Jackson and takes out the last page of his manuscript. She reads the part where she admits she never stopped loving him. He notices the ring he gave her. She admits that after all these years, she knows she was too young to stand up for what she believed in. She also admits that letting him go was a horrible mistake. Jackson wants to hear this, but he feels she'll never choose him over her family. Maggie insists she will choose him if it comes down to that. She still feels her family can see that she's happy with him now. She admits she kept changing jobs to fill a void in her life. She's nervous about his answer and asks if he can love her again. He kisses her and admits that he can. Next Christmas, Jackson releases his first romantic novels that fans love. Maggie comes to him with refreshments and a ring on her finger. She's his editor, and he's glad nothing has changed after so many years. He admits that he has always loved her and kisses her.